Guys, what a match this was today. I have no bias in what was going on in this one. Besides the fact that this one again blew up my Twitter account with tweet after tweet. This game was unbelievable. Like, this is genuinely one of the craziest matches I've ever watched. We're going to talk a little bit about many parts of this match. And yeah, there's going to be many talking points because there's obviously tons of things to discuss with what's going on kind of at Manchester United. Now, first of all, to give everybody some backstory, because I know that not everybody clicking on this video has the time, watches everything that's going on in football. Most of you guys probably will know what happened today and maybe even watch the game, right? So basically, the FA Cup, this is what's going on here. The FA Cup is one of the cups that they play in England for all the teams can get in and play. And yeah, we're all the way up at the semifinal. And Coventry City have been doing wonders. They have been unbelievable. And the funniest part is Manchester United, obviously top tier Premier League team. Maybe not top tier right now, but still in the mix at the top. Coventry City are in the Championship, which is the second division. And this is the craziest part to me about what's kind of going on here. They have 13 losses in the league and 12 draws this season, meaning they haven't won out of 42 matches, 25 of their games in the league, right? In their last 5 games, they just came off a loss of 3-0 to a team in 22nd place in the championship. They lost 2-1 to Southampton. They beat Leeds 2-1, which is a great result for them. And yeah, so you know they are not killing it, you could say, in the championship. They're not getting promoted to the Premier League, and Manchester United, a historic giant of the Premier League. I don't know if we can go ahead and say they are what they used to be at all. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk a little bit about. Like, Manchester United fans watching this video, I understand that many of you have probably lowered your expectations a little bit about what to expect. But, like, is there any validity to just feeling like, hey, that's we're not going to be what we were? Because Manchester United, you know, we take it back all the way to, you know, the days of Scholes and Ronaldo, and even when PK was there, and Vidic and Rio, and just what they used to be. Giggs, playing Champions League finals against prime Barcelona, you know? Crazy legends playing in that game. Crazy. Eto'o, you know? Oh my God. So, you know, is it fair to sit here and say, hey, Manchester United, we can't expect them to be performing, right? Because the old Manchester United, I mean, that's the beauty of this competition, right? You never know what can happen. Stuff like this can happen. Teams in the second, the third, the fourth division of England can go through and do this. But this game to me today was very interesting to watch as a neutral. You play at Wembley, right? And you know, I'm not like an all-in statistics guy, but I tell you this: you watch this game. United completely dominate the first half. Coventry City in the second half ran all over United, especially from like the 70th minute on. They ran all over United. I couldn't even believe it. It looked like United had played 180 minutes of a Europa League or a Champions League match on Thursday night, which they did not. So the problem becomes here with United and everyone who's a fan of them and people that like them and watch them. Can you in a valid way expect them to not be what they used to be? And I'll tell you this, in one way you could, right? Because of the players they have. But I'll say this, they have had the funds to go out there and spend more money than they ever had, right? So that's kind of one of those where, you know, we'll see. I mean, you know, is it time for Ten Hag to go? I think it's two sides to the story here. I'll tell you this. Ten Hag, a part of this to me, there's times where I look at it and I'm like, is it his fault? No, because you're watching the team and they're collapsing. They're falling apart. They're not playing passionately. They're not running for balls. They're not going crazy. The only player out there today that I thought looked sensational. I'm not even talking about ratings. I'm not looking at any of this, right? I thought Maguire today was great, and I thought Bruno today was insane. But the problem with United is that it seems to be this rotation of some games players play well, other games the players don't. I'll tell you this, some of that, in my opinion, doesn't lay on Ten Hag. At some point, the players that are getting selected to represent a club this large have to wake the hell up and play better, play with more passion, run after tackles more, run after. It's not good enough. There's like a bit of, when you're a neutral watching it, where you feel like there's a bit of complacency happening at times, not all the time, right? And it's very annoying as a United fan because you watch the first half for United, and you're like, man, we are playing so well. Even in the 60th minute, right? You're up 3-0. You're thinking this is not even going to be a contest. I mean, Coventry City just didn't offer enough in the first half. So you're thinking this is not even going to be a game. And this is my issue with United. There's a couple teams this year that, like, you know, even sometimes like Chelsea, like, it just can all fall apart way too quickly. And so it's like, what does that come down to? Does that come down to the players? You know, a part of it for me was that I thought that Ten Hag in the second half really tactically was maybe complacent. I thought that he was like, hey, we got this. We're up 3-0. I trust the players. I brought them in. And it just, you know, there was a turn in the game when Coventry City really had the momentum towards the end. You can even see, like, they've got a momentum tracker. Look at this. I mean, yes, United gets some of it back, but, like, Coventry City, you know, look at the first half. It's, like, non-existent. Like, they literally, this is what I was saying watching the game. In the first 30 minutes, if you were to watch this match, you would have placed such a large bet on United to win this game because they just looked like a non-event, a non-factor. So that's been my problem too. I think at times United, like, invite teams back into the game because they take their foot off the gas. They get complacent. They think they're the best. They think they're the Man City that's able to really outpossess and keep the ball the whole time, which they're not. So a part of it, Ten Hag, a part of it, the players. The part I will lay on Ten Hag is this, right? The second half from Ten Hag was terrible. Like, when that momentum started happening and for him to take off Kobe, some of the changes I didn't like. This is the thing, and I understand. I made a video a couple weeks about Garnacho, and it has nothing to do with, yes, I disagree with what Garnacho did on social media. I didn't disagree with Garnacho's opinion that he shouldn't be taken out of the game. I agree with that. I think you need to, but I think at the end of the day, you need to respect the manager, right? A manager is being assigned a job. They got to do the job, right? If the job is not good, they're going to get fired, and that's on them, not the player, to decide. But let me tell you this. Garnacho today, from what I was watching, I loved the way he was pressing. He tracked back one play like so unnecessary, but he went all the way back and he won the ball back. It's one of the attacks that Coventry had the ball in the left wing against Dallo. I got to say this. The subs were terrible. And this is the problem. Like, Ten Hag made these subs, and it felt like, to me, it felt like the subs had no tactics, no instructions. I mean, we got to the point in this game when Harry Maguire was actually, in my opinion, the catalyst for almost every attack. Harry Maguire was building out of the back. He was pushing up to left mid, left wing, connecting 1-2s with Højlund, Bruno. It was like, I was like, is this for real? Were these the tactics that Ten Hag gave? Because surely there's a better way he could do it. Now, that's not taking anything away from Harry Maguire. I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions that have to be asked at United. For them to be struggling against the team this, let's just be honest, guys. If you're Manchester United, if you're Chelsea, if you're Liverpool, if you're Arsenal, if you're Manchester City, I would even say if you're Tottenham, if you're, like, you could even maybe throw it, definitely Aston Villa, right? Like, there is no way in hell that you should be that yes, as magical as the Coventry City run has been, that this game should have happened. At least it'd be a different story if Coventry City get off to this crazy start, 2 long shot bangers, like crazy goals, and United are playing from behind. But the fact that they were up 3-0 with 30 to go, and this happened, this kind of level of crumble, and they, by the way, guys, we'll go over in a second. You know, they are very lucky that there is VAR, because they were about to be out of this game. They essentially lost in the last minute. So there's a lot of questions that have to be asked of what is the way to get United to go back to where they were. Antony is pissed. The craziest part is you can see with Antony and Diallo, right? Diallo, when he comes in, he, like, yes, at times maybe he's not the most clinical. He doesn't make the best decisions all the time. He, at least, you can tell with Diallo when he goes into the game, he's trying to create. He's got that football brain. I watch Antony, I'm like, I don't even know what Antony's trying to do. And then Antony, once in a while, he'll just, like, he just ripped some shot on his strong foot too, and it was not even close to the goal. It was a deflection. And, you know, then he puts his hands up like, oh my God, I was so close. Dude, it was going to the corner flag. So there's questions with Antony too. The price tag. I mean, there's one thing with price tag enabling and bringing on pressure to a player. There's another thing where I'm like, is he really even good? I don't know. I don't know what's the way forward with United. It's like, do they try to get some money for some of these players? Do they sell Ten Hag? It's not sell, sorry. Do they fire Ten Hag? Do they just start over? You know, this is the thing with United, though. They've just been rotating managers, right? And you look back and you're looking at Ole now, Ollie, and you're like, the job he kind of did with his team, Mourinho, right? Didn't they get second with Mourinho, right? Like that might be on Mourinho. If that was the year that Mourinho was there and they got second, that might be one of Mourinho's largest accomplishments that he was able to do that with this club. Because this club, it's just, man, it's like, even as a neutral, it's brutal to watch. None of those teams I mentioned in the top of the Prem should be dealing with this level of an outcome, having to come down to penalties and almost losing in penalties because they were down as well. Now, I know a win is a win. If you're watching this as a United fan, don't be mad at me. A win is a win. I'm not here to say, like, oh my God, Coventry City should have won. I'm not that, like, that's not the argument of this video. The point of this video is that there needs to be a lot of restructuring at United, a lot, because a team that has dropped 25 out of 42 games for points in a championship, it shouldn't be going down like this, especially full house at Wembley. Oh my God. So what a game, though. What a game. Game of the year. I will say this. Every credit to Coventry City. At some point, you also have to give flowers to the other team. It's not like United went out there and had, they just sucked, right? Like, Coventry City was great. They were great. They brought so much excitement to this game. I'll tell you this. From watching this game as a neutral compared to the Chelsea-Man City game, as good as Man City are, as efficient as Man City is, as legendary as Pep is in everyone's eyes, this type of game is so much better to watch. The end-to-end action, this is the football that I love watching. This is what it was for a lot of the time until, we had all these efficiencies and statistics come into the game, and, I don't know. Like, it's incredible to watch this. By the way, Bruno, like, almost won them the game. Coventry City hit the post as well off a rip. They had a very similar shot. I think it was Sims and Bruno who both had goals and assists as well. And then in the last minute, Haji Wright passed it inside. Haji Wright, by the way, is a phenomenal player. I really hope he gets, a lot of game time with the US because he's really good. Overall statistics, United 28 shots, but still Coventry City 18 shots, right? 18 shots. 2xG, 2.7 for United. What else we have here? So I was tweeting today as well. Harry Maguire looking like Maldini. He had a great header. He played well, man. Harry Maguire was really good today. Haji Wright. Yeah, what a game, though. What a game, guys. Honestly, what a game. And then let's talk about this in the penalties. Like, I don't understand. Like, from Casemiro as well. Is Casemiro just, like, you can tell, I just don't know. Is he really bought into the culture? Should players like Casemiro, as much as he's a legend, be at the club still? Or is this time for them to go to Saudi and get the money? Casemiro's done so much with Real Madrid, so much in his career. But, like, that penalty was so nonchalant. I don't know. Like, what was that? Same thing as Bernardo Silva. What are these guys doing on penalties? Because we'd be talking a different narrative, man. He almost cost them the entire match. Haji Wright, man. It's true, though. Coventry City tweeting out, we fought like hell to turn that around, and we nearly did. They got very unlucky. I got to see this offside here. They got very unlucky. Now, I know that someone was tweeting out basically that, give me a break. It was like a toenail offside. This is what everybody wanted, though. A lot of people wanted VAR into this game, and this is what's going to happen. At the end of the day, it was still offside, right? And as much as I want a miracle for football, and as much as probably 10 years ago, probably even less years ago than 10 years ago, this probably still would have been a goal. It would have been one of the most Cinderella stories ever. I think we would have seen Coventry against City in the final. I think we would have seen the entirety of Europe, the entirety of any football fan, Americans watching this game, pulling for Coventry City. I'm about to buy a Coventry City jersey, a kit, just for what they've done, man. They've definitely made me a fan. Now, this is one thing I want to talk about too with Antony, right? Because he was talking some smack to the Coventry fans. By the way, Højlund is getting memed right now because Højlund celebrated after scoring a game-winning penalty. Guys, at the end of the day, right, it's professional football. He won the final penalty on a shootout. I know people are memeing him celebrating like he's won a Champions League, but you know what? They're going to the FA Cup final with this disaster class of a team, and the fact that they came out with this today, they survived all that at the end. He's allowed to celebrate. Don't be mean to Højlund, all right? He did have a stinker of a game as well. Højlund was he was not it today either. So this is what Mr. Morrison said. He needs to worry about his own job instead of Coventry because some of his performances this season shows he could be playing in the championship. I'll tell you this about Antony. I think Mr. Morrison here is being very generous because, as I said previously in this video, the difference between when you watch Antony and Diallo go into the game, and how Diallo decisively tries to break down back lines, and versus Antony, I mean, we're seeing Antony do these like first time flicks. I said this earlier in the video. The only thing I saw from Antony today was he did a two-touch go out of defender dribble, right? He had a 1v1 on the left side, and then he just plays a long ball over to Diallo. He was like, nah, I don't want the ball anymore. And it's like, that's not... Let me tell you the difference, right? Antony versus Doku, right? Doku gets subbed on by Pep yesterday, and he goes, hey, Pep, I'm going to prove to you why you need to start me over Grealish. And what does bro do, right? He takes over the game. Doku, when he went in the semifinal yesterday, it's a different level they start playing with. He's cooking on that side, right? It's the same thing with the Madrid game. They subbed him on too late. But Doku bringing in electricity, getting others open, right? 1v1 attacking. We don't see that at all with Antony. We don't even see any explosion. This guy has like 60 pace on FIFA now. I don't even know what's happened to him. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then some people will argue that Antony is fine because they post edits of him when he was at Ajax, or they post, you know, a crazy goal here and there of what he does. But dude, price tag aside, I don't care if Antony was brought in for 5 mil. What he's doing is not good enough, dude. And it's like, it's cringe that he's even doing this to opposing fans, bro. All right, because he needs a reality check. Because let me tell you this. I think, again, this is generous. Haji Wright, like, you're taking Haji Wright over Antony. So, yeah, he needs a little bit of a reality check. He should not be the one doing this. Until he starts putting in some performances with passion. It's one thing if he's going out there, he's hitting the post every week. It's like unlucky. He's cooking people 1v1. But when I see Antony running one-on-one with maybe one defender helping 10 yards away, and he just like, nah, and he slows it down. Coventry sets back up in the low block. And then this other time, I'm seeing Antony do a 1-2 with the midfielder. He takes a shot on his strong foot. It's genuinely going to the corner flag. It's not even close. Is he training his finishing? I'm not even here to just hate. I'm here because it's disappointing to put on the Manchester United jersey, the kit, and play that bad. And you know what? You had moments in your career where you looked pretty good. That's why Ten Hag has brought you in. That's why they've paid the price for you, dude. It's weird to me. After today's 3 goals from Coventry City, Manchester United have conceded 29 goals in 17 games in all competitions in 2024. No bueno. No bueno. How Manchester United sees Coventry City. That's what I'm saying, though. Anyways, it's going to be a Manchester derby in the final. It will be very exciting to watch. I will be watching it May 25th. It's in quite a little bit. It's in a month. So, yeah, they could play for a trophy. You'd expect City to win it. Thanks for watching, boys. Appreciate it.